Welcome to the Millionaires mini-series with your hosts Stephanie Keith and Stacy Failing, here to set you up with the most luxurious version of yourself. This podcast is filled with wealthy women vibes and a sneak peek into the millionaires lifestyle. Whether you're inner millionaires dreams of taking private jets to deserted islands or you prefer the lighter side of luxury, we have an opportunity for you that is priceless.
Come join us as we share with you all of our juicy money secrets, mindset hacks, and so much more. Money may not buy happiness, but it can provide you with an abundant life beyond your wildest dreams. So turn up the volume, adjust your crown, and get ready to embrace your inner millionaires. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Millionaires Mindset Podcast. We're really excited to be here. We've got some really good content coming for you. Steph and I are starting to plan out some more content, and we've just been rolling with creativity. And we are in the middle of our second round of the mastermind, which is going really well. And I don't know what it is, but every time we've done this, and granted, we've only done it a couple times, but when we do, it's like the women that are inside it are so ready for this next phase in their life. And the energy inside this group is just organic. And it's not like we are handpicking these women. They're coming to us, but it's just something about it is so awesome and uplifting. Like when Steph and I get in these groups, it's our energy shifts. We look forward to the calls. We feel so good when we get off the calls, and the women are saying the same thing. And I know for some of you that you've been looking into it, maybe you can't make the live calls, or maybe you're still a little hesitant to make that investment. But if you're not aware, Steph and I have put together a masterclass that you will have access to all of the live replays. So while you won't be able to join in on the live conversations, you'll still be able to get all the content. You'll still feel that connection because you'll see everybody on there and get all the content to go through it too. So if you are on the fence and you want to join, but you just can't make it for whatever reason, that we've created that for you. We'll put the link in the show notes for you to join. And right now we're running a discount. So it's normally $12.22 and we've put it on a discount for $8.88 right now. So now is the time to snag that. And like I said, you will have the lifetime access to all of the live replays. So you'll get the, not just our current one, but also the one that we did before. You'll have access to all of that. You'll be able to hop in our Facebook group. So you get all the perks. You just don't get the live calls. So again, that information will be in the show notes. And today we really want to dig into the mompreneur space because, again, we didn't handpick these women, but the women that are coming to us are all moms. And we all have a lot of that same commonality of wanting to do more with ourselves and finding our purpose, but also how do we do that simultaneously raising a family and being good moms, doing that and running a good business. So Steph, how do you want to dig into this? Because I just recently left my job to do this, but it was like that shift was not easy. It was scary. And you've been in this for a little while longer. So I'm going to let you pop this off with your insight on what it's like to juggle both being a mom and an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom forever. Like ever since I had my first daughter, all I would wish when I would go to work every day was, I wish I could be home with her. I wish I could be home with her, because my days were filled with just mom guilt, 24/7 mom guilt, because I would have to bring her to like the before school daycare. Then she's in school all day. Then she has to go to after school daycare. And she used to just beg me, please, like, just stay home with me. And I remember when she was little, I would try to explain, mommy has to go to work because that's how we have all of the things that we have in this nice house, and we get to go on vacation and you get to have toys. And it broke my heart because she was like, Mommy, I will sell all my toys. I just want you to be home with me. And I have never forgot that moment. It was gut wrenching. And, gosh, I can't tell you how many times I dropped her off in the morning and would get in my car and just cry. And I would tell my husband all the time, like, I just want to be a stay-at-home mom. And he was like, Stephanie, you will be miserable. Like, you have to have something that keeps you busy, something that, you can be like proud of, something that's just your own, and you would not be fulfilled as a stay-at-home mom. And I knew he was right, because I am that way. Like I do really just dive into what I'm passionate about. And I always have taken pride in my work. Um, at the time, I had no idea what I would do, what I could do. This was kind of like before the big social media boom of like, all these entrepreneurs working in the online space. But I just knew that there was something out there that I could do while having that freedom. And that's kind of where the whole idea came about of like manifesting a life I don't need a vacation from, because I didn't want to be tied down to someone else's schedule, someone else's rules. I wanted to be there for my family, but also make money. And anyhow, like jump forward to when I got pregnant with Amelia, and I just knew that that was going to be the transition period for me. And, it started out where I was working for some friends on the side, doing some social media posting and things like that for them. Um, but that taught me a lot. And I was able to really like get clear on a business plan and just start going all in on my business. And now, you know, fast forward, and I'm in this situation where I'm home with my little ones. I've got a 2 and 3-year-old that are home. I can drive Alexis to school every day and pick her up. Like I always was envious of car line moms that got to do that. And I work a couple hours a day. I mean, sometimes not even. It's a few hours a week. And it is totally possible. And I think that it's getting out of that worker mindset that we've been so conditioned to believe that money is tied to the number of hours you work. It's not. Like it's completely the value that you're providing and the transformation that you're providing. And that doesn't necessarily equate to number of hours worked. So I think that the big key takeaway in terms of mindset is starting to shift out of that trading time for dollars and just allow yourself to start exploring, like, what do I enjoy doing? What do people ask me for? What advice do I give? Like, what do I spend my free time doing? And there's probably a lot of opportunity within that to create a business. I mean, we've got these phones in front of us where we have access to billions of people in the whole entire world that are our potential customers and clients. And you absolutely can make it work. You've just got to have the mindset that I can be a stay-at-home mom. I can be a present mom, a hands-on mom, but I can also build something for myself that gives me fulfillment. And Stacey, don't you think like we need that as moms? Like we need something for ourselves because we're always giving, and sometimes we don't give enough to our own needs.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I was listening to you talk, and I think the problem is not only the conditioning of, you have to go to college, get a good job, work for a company, retire, invest, and, then you get to enjoy the last 15 years of your life, maybe if you're lucky and healthy enough. I think it's the lack of purpose that we don't really emphasize the importance of finding your purpose and your passions when we're younger. As kids, we just do what we love and we have fun being in the present moment. Kids aren't worried about yesterday and they're not worried about tomorrow, and they're just happy doing the things that bring them joy. And we have gotten so far away from that. And as moms, especially, because we just continue to give. But when you are building something and when you're an entrepreneur, you're discovering that passion, and it takes a while. And that's why entrepreneurship is a difficult and challenging road, but it's a fun road because you're exploring yourself again. You're really getting to know what lights you up, what you enjoy doing. And as a woman and a mom who's also an entrepreneur, you aren't taking away from that giving and that nurturing that we are so innate to doing. You're actually doing it more because now you have this gift. You found your passion and your purpose. You're working towards it. You're feeling fulfilled in what you're doing because it is what you're supposed to be doing, not working for this company that makes you feel miserable and you hate it and you come home and you're all stressed out and you don't want to do it again tomorrow, but you have to. That's not fulfilling. But finding your purpose and doing this entrepreneurial journey, you find that, and then you get to help other people in that space step up and find their purpose and their passion. And it doesn't matter what your business is. When you're finding that fulfillment in what you're doing, you're giving that to other people, whether you see it or not. And I want to, anybody that's not familiar with the Ikigai concept, it's a Japanese word that means life purpose. And if you Google it, you'll see it's like a Venn diagram. And so if you are in this space and you're just trying to figure out like, what is it though? Because I know, Steph, you have done this too. It's like, okay, I know I don't want to be working in corporate anymore, but what in the hell do I do? You know what I mean? I have this degree. For me, I went to school to be a nurse. Well, I don't do any of that in my space right now. It's all helped me and my skill set and everything, but it's not what I do. So if you're at that crossroads and you're trying to figure that out, Google Ikigai. It's Ikigai, and I don't know if I'm botching that. I hope not, but it really just overlaps like what the world needs, what people are willing to pay you for. It overlaps your talents with your passions and your profession so that you can find in the center of it, all of those things that overlap is like what you could be making money with. It could be fulfilling your purpose. And it relates to just who you are and what you want to do. And are you familiar with that at all, Steph? Have you worked with that at all?
Yeah, I have heard about that before. And I love it. Like, I do think that no matter what it is that you put on there, like everything can be monetized. And I feel like that's where a lot of people get caught up is they'll think like, well, I'm interested in the law of attraction or whatever, but how would I monetize that? Like, I have no idea how I monetize that. Well, everything can be monetized because there's people out there. There are people that are interested in the knowledge that you have. And there are people out there that have less knowledge than you or less experience than you that are making 5 figures a month teaching it. So it's possible no matter what it is that you put on there. So it's like the whole idea is just opening yourself up to that possibility and asking yourself, like, what do I really enjoy? What would I want my day to look like? Would I want to be working on my phone, on my computer for a few hours and hanging out with my kids the rest of the day? Would I want to be going into an office? Would I want to be helping other moms? Would I want to be working with kids? Like, just dialing in on like what lights you up? What could you do for hours and it feels like minutes? And that's the thing. When you're doing something that you love and you're doing it for your own business and your own future, it's so much easier to like get through challenges than when you're working for someone else, in my opinion. Like, you're so much more inspired to get through, the quote unquote hard work than if you're just clocking in and making someone else rich. Do you agree with that, Stacey?
100%. And honestly, I'm going to be completely transparent in that, I had this secure paycheck, when I left my job, and I had health benefits and all the things. Like, I had the best benefits package. And now I'm not making as much as I was making then. And like the whole, if you look at the whole picture, but I am happier. And to me, that the pay cut that I took to do that is worth like my sanity. I've had so much more time with my kids. I've been able to pour into my business because it's what lights me up and gives me that fulfillment that I never got at that job that was paying me. It wasn't about the paycheck for me. And I know that it's completely possible. And now that I have more of that time, I am noticing that it is monetizing so much quicker because I'm not so stressed out. I'm not worrying about making somebody else rich. I am now focused on making my own empire and having this generational wealth that is mine, that is not in somebody else's corporation. It's not a 401k that's being matched by a company that could shut down or lay me off, or I don't have any of those worries. So for me, that's been the biggest peace of mind, is just knowing that I'm in it for myself and it's growing and I'm seeing the result of that. And I want to quickly just smash a couple of misconceptions, because when I was in this, thinking like, oh, well, if I need to get paid for this, I need to be certified or I need to have these qualifications. And yes, I have done certification programs, and no, it doesn't increase the dollars. It doesn't make you any more. I mean, I guess it in a little bit makes you a little bit more knowledgeable, but it's your experience. That's why that whole Venn diagram works, is because it's like, what are your talents? What are the things that you already know? What are your life experiences? What have you gone through that you can then help somebody else go through? And same, that's like what you and I talk about. The law of attraction changed your life and you know that it works. So now you turn that into a business and you help women discover the law of attraction and make it work for them so that they can create that lifestyle that they want. I've gone through some shit and learned how to heal and do all the work to get out of an abusive relationship and level up and create this life that I never thought was going to be possible for me. Now I teach women that it's possible for them too. So you don't have to have certifications and special training. You just have to have an experience and a passion behind what it is that you've gone through. And the other misconception that we hear a lot is, oh, well, there's so many other people out there as life coaches or mindset coaches or whatever. That's okay, but nobody does it the way you do it. And the people that are meant to work with you need you to show them your way of doing it. Yes, there's always going to be somebody that's done it. Or here's the other side. We heard this yesterday inside of our call, is that, well, it doesn't exist. What I want to create doesn't exist. Great. Because it's like the person in the class that has a question that's afraid to ask, but the truth is everybody else had that same question, you know? So It's just like there's a space for everybody. And if there's not something out there yet, but it's something that you're passionate about, that you feel that you need to speak on, then there's other people out there too that are feeling that and need that space and need you to be able to create that space for them. So just those are a few misconceptions that I know people go down rabbit holes and often get discouraged and thinking that they're never going to make it because of all of these reasons. And that is far from the truth.
Yeah, I totally am. I'm so glad that you cleared up those misconceptions. I think there's so many misconceptions around, what we're talking about, but I think one thing that you can, just kind of sit with, if you're listening to this podcast, maybe this weekend, or this week, you're thinking about like, what did I need when I was going through something? What did I need a year ago or 5 years ago? We talk about this all the time in our elite coaching program. It's like, sometimes your ideal customer is you. Like, what have you experienced and what did you wish that you had at a certain point in your life? And like Stacey said, there could be 100 people or 1,000,000 people all teaching the same thing, but we're all drawn to different people, right? Like there's someone out there that absolutely needs to hear your message. So just start thinking about that. And the other thing too is there's never a perfect time to get started. So just get started. And not meaning you have to go and quit your day job, but just start talking about what you want to do. Start posting about it, start putting some feelers out there and just see where it leads. You never know. And that's what I did when I was in my corporate job. I started my Instagram account. I started talking about the law of attraction and building a community. And, I looked at my 9-to-5 paycheck as my angel investor, and I started putting a little bit of money from each paycheck into my business. And that's how I got started. It wasn't this like, I'm going to quit my job and go full force into my business. It started while I was still working and it evolved over time. So I think the biggest mistake I see people make is saying, well, I'll do it someday, or I have to wait until. Like, that time is never going to come. And that's an excuse that will always be there. So the best advice I can give is to just get started. And that's the best way to truly know if you're made for this or if there's something else you should be doing, is to just start and see where it leads.
Yeah, that's good advice because and there's women that are doing like the MLM, and are working on the side and they want to turn that into something, or they get a taste. They get a taste of what entrepreneurship is like. And they're like, okay, I don't necessarily want to do the MLM thing forever, but I do want to create my own. And so it is possible. And it's, if you if you want to make it happen, you totally can. It might just mean you have to rearrange some things to make it happen. But like Steph said, just take it one step at a time. And if you feel called to do something, just get started. Just put pen to paper and write your ideas down. That's a step.
Yep. Yeah. And if you want to start kind of shifting that worker mindset into a wealth creation mindset, which is so essential in switching from being an employee to being an entrepreneur, I do have a free masterclass that we can link in the show notes as well that walks you through that and just some of the things that will really make you look differently at everything because we have been so conditioned to be in this like 9 to 5. I need to rely on an employer. And this will help you just look at things with a fresh new perspective and see if that's something that you want to explore further. So I definitely recommend checking that out and keep tuning into the podcast too, because the more you're tuning in and putting yourself in situations with other entrepreneurs, it does help shift your mindset as well. And it does help you get on that same wavelength of like, okay, if they can do it, so can I. You see the possibility and you're providing your subconscious with that proof that it is in fact possible. So I hope that this motivated some moms out there. Know that you're not alone and that every mom, you could be the best mom in the world, but you still need something for you. We all have a purpose. We all have a passion and we all need that fulfillment. So don't leave that, you got to fill up your own cup so that you can be the best version of you. So if that is speaking to you, then go and take that master class, see how you feel, and maybe it'll give you a fresh new perspective on this next chapter of your life. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you back here next week.